People living in Hong Kong have less access to pro-democracy news. The only outlet left there has published its final edition. This after several staffers were arrested by the Chinese. It's part of a crackdown on the semi-autonomous city. The newspaper's assets are also now frozen. One of the outlet's editors was arrested while trying to leave the city. He's being held on suspicion of foreign collusion to endanger national security. Tonight, I'm joined by Benedict Rogers, a human rights activist who's written for the Apple Daily. Benedict, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
These arrests come through Beijing's new strict national security law. Has Hong Kong lost its autonomy?
It's completely lost its autonomy. Hong Kong is now directly ruled by the Chinese Communist Party regime. The Hong Kong government, which is led by people who are Hong Kongers, but is effectively a proxy puppet regime, and Hong Kong's freedoms have been completely destroyed.
We have talked a lot in this country about the media. There in that area of the world, what is going to happen to the editors and executives who are now in custody?
Well, potentially under the national security law, they could face many years in jail, in some cases even possibly a life sentence, or certainly 10 years or more. And they're charged with, one of the problems with the national security law is that it's so vaguely defined and so widely and indiscriminately applied, but they're charged with collusion with foreign entities because of articles that they've published. But the regime has not given details as to which particular articles. And another concern is whether those articles were published before the national security law came into force, in which case that law is being applied retrospectively, which we were told it would not happen.
Benedict, I want to get your response to one of the assignment editor's responses. Listen to this.
I'm just doing the work of a journalist, reflecting somebody else's opinion, telling the world what's happening out there in the society. By doing so, I have to be afraid of being arrested. I have to be afraid of my company being raided by police. I have to be afraid of my company being shut down.
I'm just doing the work of a journalist, and I have to be afraid of being shut down, paraphrasing what he said. Benedict, your thoughts, your concerns about what you just heard?
Well, it's absolutely heartbreaking, but it's very true. And what we've seen now with the essentially the killing of Apple Daily. Apple Daily didn't close because it ran out of money or lost readership or anything like that. It closed because the regime shut it down. They closed off its bank accounts. They arrested senior journalists. They threatened other journalists. And that essentially means the death of press freedom in Hong Kong.
A government spokesperson said this week that the nation is committed to protecting freedom of the press. Is that true? And what can this nation do to demonstrate they're committed to making this happen?
It's certainly not true. I mean, to say that at the same time as killing the major pro-democracy newspaper is a complete contradiction. The reality is Beijing and through the Hong Kong government is trying to silence and eradicate all forms of dissent. And currently their target is the media. Previously their target was protesters and pro-democracy legislators. I think that academic freedom, religious freedom, and other freedoms will be next in line.
Very important topic. Benedict Rogers, thank you so much.
Thank you.